Mediocre concepts in PyTorch. Basic tensors. Description. Understanding and using tensors. The fundamental building blocks in PyTorch for creating and manipulating data. Operations. Creation. Torch. Tensor. Torch. Zeros. Torch. Ones. Basic operations. Addition. Subtraction. Multiplication. Division. Reshaping. View. Reshape. Indexing and slicing. Neural network basics. Description. Building and training simple neural networks using PyTorch NN module. Components. Layers. NN. Linear. NN. Conv 2D. NN. ReLU. Loss functions. NN. Cross entropy loss. NN. MSE loss. Optimizers. Torch. Optim. SGD. Torch. Optim. Adam. Example. Implementing a basic feed-forward neural network. Training the network on a simple dataset e.g. must. Data loading. Description. Using PyTorch data loading utilities to handle datasets. Tools. Torch. Utils. Data. Dataset. Torch. Utils. Data. Data loader. Features. Custom datasets. Data augmentation. Batch loading. Example. Loading and preprocessing the CIFAR10 dataset. Model evaluation. Description. Evaluating the performance of neural networks using common metrics and techniques. Metrics. Accuracy. Precision. Recall. F1 score. Techniques. Train validation split. Cross-validation. Example. Implementing a validation loop to monitor model performance. Transfer learning. Description. Leveraging pre-trained models for new tasks by fine-tuning them. Models. ResNet. VGG. Inception. Techniques. Freezing layers. Fine-tuning specific layers. Example. Fine-tuning a pre-trained ResNet model on a custom dataset. Saving and loading models. Description. Techniques for saving and loading PyTorch models for reuse and deployment. Methods. Torch. Save for saving models. Torch. Load for loading models. Model. State dict for saving and loading model parameters. Example. Saving a trained model and loading it for inference. Basic GPU usage. Description. Utilizing GPUs to accelerate training and inference. Tools. Torch. CUDA. Techniques. Moving models and tensors to GPU with toCUDA. Handling multi-GPU setups with NN. Data parallel. Example. Training a neural network on a GPU. Basic custom loss functions. Description. Creating custom loss functions for specific tasks. Implementation. Define a function or class inheriting from NN module. Implement the forward method. Example. Implementing a custom loss function for regression tasks. Model debugging. Description. Techniques for debugging and troubleshooting PyTorch models. Tools. Print statements. TorchWiz for visualizing computation graphs. PyTorch Profiler for performance analysis. Example. Identifying and fixing issues in a neural network model. Activation functions. Description. Understanding and using various activation functions in neural networks. Functions. NN. ReLU. NN. Sigmoid. NN. Tonnage. NN. Leaky ReLU. Example. Comparing the effects of different activation functions on model performance. Regularization techniques. Description. Implementing basic regularization techniques to prevent overfitting. Techniques. Dropout. NN. Dropout. Weight decay. Adding L2 regularization. Example. Adding dropout layers to a neural network. Learning rate scheduling. Description. Adjusting the learning rate during training to improve convergence. Schedulers. Torch, Optim, LR scheduler, Step LR. Torch, Optim, LR scheduler, Exponential LR. Torch, Optim, LR scheduler, Reduce LR on plateau. Example. Implementing a learning rate scheduler in a training loop. Basic custom datasets. Description. Creating custom datasets by extending the Torch, utils, data, dataset class. Steps. Define a class inheriting from dataset. Implement len and get item methods. Example. Creating a custom dataset for image classification. TensorBoard integration. Description. Using TensorBoard to visualize training progress and model performance. Tools. Torch, utils, TensorBoard, summary writer. Features. Logging scalar values. Visualizing model graphs. Tracking training metrics. Example. Integrating TensorBoard into a PyTorch training script. Basic augmentation techniques. Description. Applying data augmentation to improve model generalization. Libraries. Torch Vision, transforms. Techniques. Random cropping, random flipping, normalization. Example. Applying augmentations to the CIFAR10 dataset.